Good afternoon, everybody. Are we ready for another roll? This one's at 1959 Denver Mint. I hope. At least that's what the title says. Yeah, this is Denver Mint. I was questioning it because the paper only says 1959 on it. It doesn't say anything about being Denver Mint. But this one is from the First National Bank of Atlanta, Georgia. And got a few people in here. Got Coin Dragon, Eric Beyer, Coin Hunter. Hey guys, how you doing? Let's see what we get in this roll. Hopefully the luck of the Irish is with you today, I guess. It needs to be with all of us because it's been a little while since I've actually dragged out a roll that had a lot of good stuff in it. So I'd like to see that happen here. Alright, wrapper comes over the coins, just like every other time. And here we go. Off to the races. Yo man, Wanda. Irish girl in the house. Alright, let's see who gets the first coin. Randy will get the first coin in this roll. Get everything all straightened up so that I'm ready to go. Get my camera straightened up. There we go. How about that? There we go. Coin number 1 in the roll. Well, this happens to be the ender, which isn't as pretty as it could be. It looks like we have nothing going on the obverse on this one. We're looking specifically for one Class 6 double die obverse and a bunch of RPMs. I'm going to look at the reverse side of the first 10 coins to see if we happen to pick up a double die reverse, but I am unfamiliar with double die reverses in 1959D. There might be one, but I'm not sure. It's definitely not something I frequently look at. Here's coin number 2 now. Coin number 2 going to Mike Birchman. And Wanda says, yo man. Let's see what we have here. Oh, there's a little, that's weird. There's like a die gouge of some sort. Right at the edge of the coin underneath the bust. First 10 coins, I'll take a look at the reverse too. Then for the sake of brevity of the show, if I don't find anything on the reverse of those first 10 coins, I will skip the reverse side during the show, but we will be looking at it later. There's Eric Beyer. I think we do have an RPM here. It's rather minor, but it is an RPM nonetheless. Let me get my scope set up to view it. Right there. Nice little split lower serif. And upper serif, actually. So splits on both serifs. Let's find us a good marker to use for this, so we will know more about what we're looking at later. There's a nice angled die scratch from the chin down toward below the bow tie, so I can use that for sure. There's, it looks like die gouges around the Ale of Liberty. And this one we are going to call die 1 of the roll. Die 1 for this roll. We've got north and south die scratches around the date. We've got an angled die scratch above the 5. Got plenty of markers on this. Let's take a look at the reverse and see what we come up with on the reverse, if anything. And Coin Dragon informs me that I have a Class 2+6 listed on the website. So we are going to be looking for at least one double die reverse. But because they are not that well known, we'll still only peek at the first 10 coins. So there is a die number 1 for the roll for Eric. Let me go ahead and get these laid out so that I can keep them separated from one another. Coin number 4 now. Coin number 4 goes to Sissy. Miss Sissy Atwell. And we have a normal coin here. Double die reverse listed as very minor, mostly on the FG. So it may not be all that exciting anyway. Oh, it's nice to know that you have one, though. Alright, there's Sissy's coin. Number 4, now coin number 5. 1 RPM so far. Let's see if we can way top that. Want to top that heavily. Yeah, not with this coin. Looks like we got nothing going on the obverse. How about the reverse? Looks like normal coin to me. That was from Malcolm. Now coin number 6. DN. And what do we have for DN? Looks like a normal obverse. That is probably more a die scratch than a double die lid. I do see it. I think it's just a die scratch, little die gouge. Some of the chief important points of the reverse. Find nothing on this one either. That's coin number 6. On to coin number 7 now, and coin number 7 is from Malcolm again. I've had Malcolm so far twice in this roll. See if he gets anything on this one. Okay, it's part of a die scratch. I was thinking that raised area above the D might be something special, but I'm not thinking so. It's like part of a family of die scratches. So for now, I will skip this and look for more evidence if there is anything there. Hello, Carl. And Brandon, back again. Was it like 9 o'clock in the morning there? 10 o'clock in the morning? Maybe even earlier. Jim Fletcher now. Jim Fletcher. So not an RPM. Same die crack I've seen on another coin so far. So this would be the second one of that die that I've seen in this roll. And now coin number 9. Yo man. Coin number 9 is it looks like not an RPM. Oh, Randy. 4 a.m. your time. Been staring at since then. Has it done you any good? I mean, have you found anything? Let me take a look at this side before we move on to the next coin. Okay, got nothing there. That's for Yeoman. Coin number 9 now. On up to coin number 10. That one's for Sissy. see what Sissy gets. Well, nothing in the RPM department. A pretty late die state strike here. Coin Dragon's checking rolls too. Well, hopefully you guys find some goodies. Hopefully you do better than I did. I got nothing going on here today, I guess. Got one minor RPM so far, and that's it. Number 11 to Marshall. Not going to be looking at the reverses on any of these at this point, as I find it to be rather futile during a show, during a live show, to look at what almost certainly is completely normal reverses on a bunch of coins. So what we will do is go through this roll, obverse and reverse, carefully, again, to be sure that nothing was missed. And now I'm up to coin number 12, Mike Birchman. What does Mr. Birchman get? And it's another one of our normal coins. Yeah, moving right along. Coin number 13 for Lucy. What does Lucy get? Another normal coin. Bummer. Now, coin number 14, Mac McBride. Haven't seen Joe in here during this broadcast yet. Maybe he's watching from a catbird seat. Doesn't want anybody to know he's there. Okay, I was checking that one carefully because it appeared at first that it could be an RPM. But as I look around, I found that I had been mistaken. Have faith. Well, I'm trying. I mean, I've got one nice RPM out of here so far. I mean, it's minor, but it's nice. And then I've always got backup because Eric's going to look at all these coins too. So, just in case there's a chance that I might miss something, he's going to see them too. So, Tom Tom did not get anything out of this roll so far. He's got 3 spots though, I think. Mr. Fletcher, I think this is his second. And he gets an RPM. This one is an RPM. And is it the same? It is not the same die as the other. So this is a different minor RPM. It has a split on the lower and upper as well, although the split on the upper is not very well defined. I can see it by shape only. Hello, late night. Well, we got us an RPM. It's a different die than the other coin. Oh, wait a minute. I need to pull a marker off of this and see if I can figure something out about stacking. I'm getting these stacked. What can I use for a marker? I see a lot of stuff that looks like could be die marker, could be coin hits. Ah, there we go. Die crack above the VDB on the shoulder. And the heaviest part of it actually ends right above the D in VDB. So there's that. I'll toss this one on the RPM truck And move on to the next coin, number 17. Number 17 going to Randy. And it appears as though number 17 is going to draw a blank, unfortunately. We haven't got a blink out of this one. One might go get graded. What would that be? Just curious. I don't go through those. I just get them and I dump them into pound bags. That's all I do. So I don't know what's in them. It's always surprising to know what people are finding. A 45 that's beautiful. How about that? Here's one from Marshall. I don't think this is an RPM, so we're just going to keep moving along. Is there a high grade? Really nice. Cool. That would be awesome. Like Jessica says, awesome sauce. Well, hello, Jeff Dunn. And Marshall's coin turns out to be normal. Let's do coin number 19. William Cresson. Mr. Cresson gets, it's another nothing. It's another nothing. So what do you guys want to learn about today? So I'm not really sure I have anything on cue right now up in my itty bitty little head to talk about with regard to coin education. We could talk about the proof coins that are going to come up later on. I may do those today, but I'm thinking I'll be doing them a little bit later in the week. However, proof coins are a interesting little character. Hello, Solo Smoke. The reason they're so interesting is because the mintage is very low on those. And in fact, proof coins are made per die at a mintage that is 100 times less or more than the business strike dies. You see, proof dies typically strike between 2,000 and 5,000 coins before they're retired. And that's because the extra crisp, sharp design starts to wear, and, well, they don't want to put any die-worn proof coins into the sets, so they change the dies out frequently. And so with the, let's see if I have an RPM here. No, I don't. And so with those proof dies, you can get a double die, say, and there would only be a couple thousand possible double dies that would go along with that one. However, with a business strike double die, like the 1995 double die, well, that can make up to 1 million coins. Let's say even 1.2, 1.4 million coins. And given that, you could have a double die out of a business strike that's 1.2, 1.4 million coins strong, or you could have a proof double die that's only about 2,000 coins strong. Obviously, the proof double die is going to be far more scarce than the business strike double die, which tends to make them have a little bit more value, simply because more collectors, more demand. The more demand, more coins you need to fill that demand, and you don't have enough coins to fill the demand with the proof double dies, so value on them is up substantially. Oh, Malcolm and Bill. Nothing on this one either. So when you get a double die in a proof set or in a load of proof coins that you purchase one way or another, cherish that double die because, well, it's going to be something that not nearly enough people are going to be able to find or have. Because, well, there are literally thousands and thousands of double die collectors, and only 2,000 to 5,000, I would say, examples of each different proof double die. Actually, anything that's on a proof die. Anything that's on a proof die. For instance, the missing S on the 1990 S, you're looking at an error that there could only be up to about 5,000 examples known, because that's as far as they use the dies, and then they retire the dies and move on to other dies. Just a little interesting tidbit of information. So the pool that we're doing for these proof coins, you're going to have up to 10 chances to find a proof coin that has a double die. And that, I believe, is exciting. In fact, there are a couple of proof RPMs known in the 70s, especially 1971, I believe, has a pretty nice one, a proof RPM. But the double dies for the proofs, I mean, 1970S is a pretty nice one. There's a whole host of them in 1955 on the reverse. There's some on the 57, 58. There's beautiful ones on 1956. In 1960, you've got double dies that are the large date over small date or small date over large date, which are very valuable. FS listed. I just now read that comment from late night with Bull. Yeah, maybe I should open up a jazz station, do jazz late at night. I used to like jazz a lot back in the day. I still do, actually. I just don't listen to it much anymore. Yeah, we don't want anybody driving while listening. Driving while listening could put you asleep. I don't know how much I should actually like that idea that you could go to sleep by listening to me, simply because, well, what does that do for me during an auction? It gives me an audience full of people falling asleep. You get a little die chip there, and the B and the R of Liberty. Yeah, and here I'm looking for people to be jazzed up and awake, ready to go. And my voice does exactly the opposite to them. Okay, so the reference is more that my voice is soothing. I guess that's a good thing, is it? I mean, soothing voice sell better than, I guess, annoying voices. Okay. Well, if it's a good thing, I like it that way. My educational videos, I know that's always nice to have a good voice when you're doing a video that you want people watching, that you want people paying attention to and learning from. But these auctions and these reveal shows, they just kind of came along. It wasn't something I necessarily planned at first. And after I really kind of started planning them, I never really thought about the voice I was using. Just the one I use every day. Wife tells me my head's gonna swell real big someday. Until I don't let this go to my head. It's just how I talk. On your number 17, could I tell you if that was a bar under the L of Liberty or what that was? Okay. I'll go back to 17. We'll look at it again. Not a problem. Let's see. Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things where I should probably slow down just a little bit, enough anyway to at least afford you guys the opportunity to look at your own coins at your own speed. But I'm just trying to make sure that we've got a good show. And that thing under the L is a bar, but it's a die gouge. So that's a die gouge. See how it comes in at an angle and it doesn't have a crosslet like a L would? That's not going to be a double die. That is a die gouge. I have other die gouges that show up on some of these others. See the die gouges near the rim there at the bottom underneath the vest? You have more of them down there. They're not as heavy. I sometimes see die gouges planted up here in the "In God We Trust" in the motto. But that's what that is. Big voice guys got to stick together. I guess is that what it makes me? Am I a big voice guy? I don't know that I'm a big voice guy. Yo man, now for coin number 31. Yeah. Got a little fleck of something going on up there next to the 9, but that looks like just a little die mark. Something that hit the die, I guess. Well, I guess maybe the wrong word to use there. I'm not supposed to be the one guessing. Seems I've got two examples, one each of two different RPMs up to coin number 32. That's kind of unusual in itself. Especially out of a bank wrapped roll, I would expect more examples of each of those two dice. But so far I've not found anything that looks like an RPM outside of those two coins. There's another one with the die chips in the B and the R. The die crack down below. I guess I sort of got blessed with a lower voice, but I don't sing, so I can't use it for singing. Or like singing baritone, or which one's lower? Is it baritone or bass? I think bass is lower than baritone. So I'd probably be, what would I be, tenor? So I can be a tenor walrus. Deep voices are great for commanding animals. Okay, here, watch this. Sleep, Sherm, sleep. Sleep, my boy. Works really well, he's asleep. Sound alike? Country music? I'm not really a country music person. I know some of them, but not very many. Mostly the folks from the 80s and 90s. Never really listened to much country music in the last 15 or 20 years. Mr. McBride. Let's see what Mr. McBride comes up with. Yeah, it looks like we have nothing, unfortunately. So build the suspense for you. And see this little area right here where you go from like kind of a washed out color to a darker area? It's actually got more luster, it's shinier. This happened when the coin was being rolled. Or actually being washed, I'm sorry. When the planchet was being washed. It did not, the wash solution did not come off the planchet completely, and it hazed the planchet over just a little bit. Here's one for Carl. Let's take a look at Carl's coin and see what we come up with. This looks like it might be another RPM, possibly. No. Sorry, Carl, I tried for you. It just didn't work out successfully, buddy. Okay. As you get your invoices for last night's auction, you will find out that if you are a subscriber to these spots, you are not going to see the spots you subscribed to on your invoice. I finally had to make a command decision about that and figure out that some people would not receive an invoice today at all simply because they let their subscriptions take care of their appearance. And so they only get spots in the reveals, and there's no reason to send them an invoice that has, well, nothing new on it. So I decided that the spots that would be paid for via invoice will be on the invoice, but the spots that had already been paid for by subscription are not going to be on the invoice. So someone like Malcolm, who subscribed to part of the spots and then purchased the other part of his spots, he's going to see the part that he purchased on the invoice. Yeah, I've seen a few skull cracks in here, Coin Hunter. Been a few of them. There's actually one of the dies has a pretty decent skull crack on, well, every one of the coins actually. And Mr. Worley. Mr. Worley's coin. I'm going to try for tomorrow. I'm going to try to set up my regular scope so it works on the reveals. I had it working the other day on the roll dig that I did, and a couple of roll digs that I did, and it looked pretty nice. So I'm going to see if I can set it up for tomorrow's reveals. We've got 3 reveals tomorrow. I believe we've got 3 tomorrow. It's a 55S, a 60D, and a 54S. I think we have all 3 of those tomorrow. Next coin up goes to Adam Chambers, aka Coins and Ghouls. Adam has appeared enough times and has become enough of a regular fixture in the Lincoln Cent Auctions group that he is now one of the administrators of said group. Make it so that he can manage what he does on his own. Known him for a couple of years, a great guy. Well, Wanda. Mama sang bass. Is that right? Or Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor? It's one of those country songs my dad used to listen to when I was a kid. I haven't heard it in years. Well, so far only 2 RPMs in this entire roll. I was hoping for a lot better than this, but it turns out that, well, you win some, you lose some when it comes to these rolls, and we seem to be losing a little bit more than we're winning lately, which means that we are primed and set up to have a wonderful roll. We just have to figure out where that wonderful roll is. Should be coming up sometime soon. I think with the 55S that we get, at least, we're going to have some pretty decent stuff. The 54S should be pretty nice. 54S, I usually don't go through a 54S without finding some sort of RPM. This one's for Adam Connor. Adam Connor gets an RPM. Boom, there we go. There's an RPM. Let's see whose it matches. By marker, I'm going to say it's closer to the die number 2. See if we have that. Yeah, we kind of have a die crack along the bottom of the VDB. This may or may not be the same die. I'm going to put it on the pile and just call it an RPM, possibly as die 2 for this roll. 19. Let's see. Stick this right in. So back number 44 goes to Sissy. Sissy Atwell, coin number 44 in the roll. Where are you? Here you go. Oh, bummer. Well, good thing it's not an RPM or a double die on the obverse, because that mint mark is quite hit up. It's quite banged. Be at the auctions next month. You went on a Morgan buying spree. Did you get good Morgans? I mean, as long as you bought good coins, you didn't waste anything, did you? I mean, you know, if you had told me that you went on 10 balloon rides for what you had to pay, I would think, either really likes balloon rides or just decided to waste some money. Oh, there's a nice RPM. Shabam. That's a really nice one right there. Who's that go to? William Cresson. Bill Cresson's going to get this one. There you are, big guy. Let's zoom in further on this. Wow, look at that. Very nice rip'em there. Beautiful, possible 3Ds there. It looks like there might be 3 serifs on the bottom. A D over D over D. Shouldn't be hard to get a die number on this one. I mean, this one should be one of the ones that's very well known. And get it well focused. There we go. I'll keep moving around and see if we can see any markers that would be of importance on this to determine which die number it is. I see a little die scratch above the ER of Liberty. Wow, that's about it. I don't see much else for markers. Could be number 4. Okay. There's a little die crack on the head. Big die scratch above the head toward we. A couple of other die scratches above the head, above the hair toward trust. Take a look at the reverse real quick and see if we have any massive markers of knowledge on the reverse. Something that we can definitely use. And I don't really see anything real nice for markers on the reverse. I'm looking kind of quick because I just want to see if there's anything fast. There's a heavy die scratch on the right side of the T going straight north toward the memorial base. And that's the only real heavy marker I see on the reverse. A lot of times you'll see die chips and cracks on the columns or somewhere else, and I just don't see any of that on this. That one marker is the only one that I can really pick out quickly. So that's the one that should show most in most references. So there it is. That's for Bill. Congrats, Bill. You got yourself a nice one. We've still got 5 coins left in the roll. Somebody else has a chance of getting one of those. Who's next? Deanne. Well, Deanne comes up next. Let's see what Deanne gets. Let's see. This one is a normal coin, it appears. Got nothing going on there. Now, coin number 47. Coin number 47 goes to Randy. And Randy gets... yeah, looks like another normal one. Sometimes they just do this. I mean, they have RPMs in them. They'll have 1 or 2 examples of RPMs, and then the rest of the roll will be normal. It's just really hard to tell exactly how stuff like this goes. It is possible that really nice RPM that went to Bill Crusson was just beginning its run when they pulled this hopper to put into bags, and through an entire 5,000 count bag of coins there might have been 50 or 60 of these RPMs, which it's going to average 1 per roll, or actually less than 1 per roll because there's 100 rolls in a bag. So your chances one way or the other of getting an RPM are really kind of limited to the number that went into the bag to begin with, and that's not really much that we can know ahead of time. I've seen rolls that had 25 examples of a single die. I've seen rolls that had only 1 example of single dies. This is one of those 1 example rolls. Coin Hunter is going to get coin number 49. Coin number 49 next to the end of the roll. And this one appears to have, well, nothing of any great importance, unfortunately. Let's check the other side and see what we got. Might as well, right? Been on this less than 45 minutes just because this is one of the dates that we find a lot of good stuff on the obverse and not really much of anything worthwhile on the reverse, so we've spent less time with the reverses. Stonecutter. Stonecutter gets the last coin in the roll. Let's see what the last coin in the roll provides. And, well, it isn't that great of a toner, although there is a little tiny bit of toning on it, and there is no double die or RPM on the obverse. Now let me take a look at the reverse. Nothing there either. So for those who are just here to look at the coins are done. I'll stick around for a few more minutes and answer questions or talk with everyone. Go back and look at the chat because I've been missing a little bit of the chat here. Let's see. Put a bunch of 55Ps in a flip that came out of a tubed roll. They all exhibit great natural toning, but I just checked and the flipped ones are all changing. Any tips to prevent? Make sure you use an archival safe Mylar flips and not anything that has PVC in it. Also keep them cool and dry after they've come out of the roll, because that's where they were to begin with and that's where they got their color, and to keep their color you might want to keep them in the same condition if possible. That's all I can say. That's all I know. Let's see. They're turning whiter. And these are Lincoln Cents, right? You're talking about Lincoln Cents, Brandon? They're turning whiter. Flips are losing their pinks. That is weird. I don't know. Make sure that you're using archival safe flips. Make sure that you're not using flips that have any PVC or other plasticizers in them, because those softeners in the plastic can actually change the coins in a not so desired direction. Randy's more excited for the 60Ds. We do have 60Ds coming up tomorrow. Let me go ahead and get for you the list, which I have not yet printed, that I will soon for myself, so that I can talk to you about my plans for the next few days. I do have all these scheduled already, but I just wanted to tell you anyway. We have 3 reveals scheduled for tomorrow, one at noon Eastern Time, one at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, and one at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. At 6 p.m. Eastern Time will come just an hour before Jessica Johnson's auction tomorrow. I have an auction coming up tomorrow evening on this channel. Marked Money Tech. I generally don't do reveals on 73D rolls because 73D it's one of those years that there are a couple of really nice things known for them, but they are rather scarce. And given they are rather scarce, so I'm not really in the game of trying to play lottery. I want to try to get people good stuff. So I deal more with trying to get things out of the better variety years. The 60D roll that I have coming up tomorrow is an old foil wrapped original bank wrapped roll, and I do believe it's going to be a large date. So I don't know for sure if they're small or large date because they are still wrapped in foil and taped together with a label, so I've not seen any of the coins. But I just know that they are 1960Ds. That's all I do know. I'm thinking they're probably going to be large date. I do have, let's see, already scheduled for next month. I have two 1960D large date rolls scheduled for next month. I've got a, let's see, there's a 60 Philadelphia. I don't have any other 60Ds for this month. I appreciate it, Bill. You have a great day, great evening. So what we end up with here, from my recollection, or what I can find, we've got what appears to be 48 normal, 47, 46 normal coins, 46 normal coins, and we've got 4 RPM coins. So 4 RPM coins are number 3, number 45, number 43, and number 16. Those go to Jim Fletcher, Adam Connor, Bill Cresson, and Eric Beyer. And so that's what we have in there. I'm going to flip these around the other direction. And then I split these in half like this and turn them around. And then I toss a rubber band around them, get them ready to ship to Florida. There it is. All ready to go. Did Jeff fall asleep? No worries at all, Brandon. I hope you can find, if you can't find any archival safe flips, let me know. I'll get some sent to you so you'll have some. So at least you'll know what they look like and know what they feel like. Oh, Kitty was typing. How about that? 3333333. All right, folks, I appreciate it. And this makes the end of today's broadcast. However, I will probably come on later this evening. There is a likelihood that I'll come on later this evening with another roll. And I am going to finish sending out today's invoices. I've still not yet finished sending all the invoices for yesterday's auction. I'm going to get that done. And yes, you can search for roll reveals on the channel. You can search for them by date because the date and mint mark. Oh, I did have a 73D roll reveal. I didn't realize that. I don't usually do 73D. Just once in a while, I guess. But I appreciate it, folks. You guys have a great afternoon, and I will see you later this evening should I come on for a roll dig. Be watching the Facebook channel, Copper Coins on Facebook. I'll announce it, about a half an hour before I do it. And I'll talk to you later, folks.